Hello, potato mortals, and welcome to the Happy Haunt Hunt. It is, yes, still July, and yes, another episode of the Happy Haunt Hunt, where we summon in the spirits from wherever they're at, which, in this case, is DisneyStore.com again. Yes, we've had tombstones, we've had ornaments, we've had light-up things, and Starbucks cups, and today we have summoned forth a Pintasm. That's Pintasm with a T as in tango, not what you thought you heard, you filthy little child. Now, being pins, they are all small things, which means we need to go down there to look at them. We have 4 pins to look at today, comprising 6 different specters from Disneyland's The Haunted Mansion. These came out from when this video releases, probably about 3 weeks ago. They came out around the same time, I think maybe even the same day as that $130 Disney 70th anniversary pin that did have a Hatbox Ghost pin that complemented it. It was not complimentary, you paid for it very dearly, but it complemented it. And since I didn't buy the $130 pin, I didn't see any point in buying the Hatbox Ghost. Plus, it looks very similar, like to the point that I wasn't sure if it was just a reused asset. I don't think it was. But at first I wasn't sure if it was a reused asset of the Hatbox Ghost that appeared on the $100 pin I bought, like 2 or 3 weeks earlier. Did a video on it not that long ago. You can go and check that out. I think it's also labeled as a Happy Haunt Hunt video. But they did release some open edition Haunted Mansion pins at the same time, and those I did pick up. I didn't pick up immediately. I waited. They had that Disney Pal sale like a week later where everything was like 20% off, which basically meant that the discount covered both shipping and tax. So not a huge discount, but I ended up with free shipping and covered tax, and that was enough to get me to go ahead and buy them. So let's stop talking about them and start looking at them. Starting off with, we're going to do them in the order that you meet them in the ride. So we'll start off with this one here, which, of course, all the pins, I haven't actually seen these yet other than pictures because they're all packaged like this. As Disney does, they have put the labels over the front of the pins. Now, I'm guessing there's a darn good reason for doing this. Maybe it helps in stock keeping in the shops in the park. I don't know. I mean, that must also be a very efficient way of ripping these out of the plastic. Because, I mean, obviously, in the park, they don't display them like this. I'm going to put these back in the plastic to protect the surface of them. But, of course, when you buy them in the park, they do not come in this plastic sheath. So I'm guessing it's to do something with stock keeping because they have a barcode on the front. And there must also be some very efficient way of stripping these out of their little packages to put them up on the pegs. But starting off here, as you can see here, is HM25 Leota OENPNCZ. I'm guessing it's open edition. I don't know what the PINCES stands for, but OE is almost certainly open edition. Open edition pin. I don't know. If you know what this code, oops, got it on the camera. If you know what this code means, let me know in the comments. But I'm guessing OEP is open edition pin, but I don't know what the NCZ stands for. But let's open our open edition and check out Madame Leota. At least with them saying on the package what they're for, I know which way to put them back. So here we have Madame Leota to double pin back, Mickey pin backs, of course, because it's not Marvel. Madame Leota, Fortunes and Crystals, Potions and Seances. Or Potions and Crystals, Fortunes and Crystals, Potions, Seances. I'm guessing the "and" should be between all of them. Yeah, it's very nicely rendered. It's very similar, I think, to the art style. In fact, I think this is actually a reused asset of the art on the Magic Band that we looked at in the last episode of the Happy Haunt Hunt that I'm still very pleased with. I don't know when I'll get to use it, but I'm pleased with it. It's not a super shiny pin. It's not like those glossy enamel ones. It's not matte. I mean, you can see there's light reflecting off of it, but it doesn't have that smooth layer of like shellac over the top. It's very textured and rough. It's very nice, and you have a real detailed Madame Leota face. I think a little bit more angular than she looks in the ride, but still a very nice pin. And I don't remember how much these were. I think 13 each. Let me look real quick. Okay, so as of this recording, these pins do not appear to be available from DisneyStore.com, but they were $12.99 as of this recording. Prices, of course, go up all the time nowadays. But yeah, they were 13 each. This is why they don't put prices on these things. They don't have the colors codes on them anymore either. Maybe they don't do... Did they not do that anymore? Or do they not do it for ones that they sell through the website? Or maybe it's not for open edition. Who knows? But yeah, $12.99 each. And yeah, it's a pretty nice little pin. Jumping well ahead in the mansion, we become acquainted with our next pin, or the spirit from our next pin, which is Bride. Just says Bride, doesn't say Constance anymore. Just says Bride. This also appears to just be a reused asset from the Magic Band. I mean, I think the Magic Band came out on the same day these pins did originally. But here we have the one and only, I guess that's not fair, one and only Constance Hatchaway. There's lots of Constance Hatchaways now. We have, this does appear to be more of the new one. So now I think the one on the Magic Band still had her hatchet. This one just has the bouquet. So this one is, well, still looks nice and zombified. That's one thing I did like about the one on the Magic Band, is she has almost a zombie look to her. I think it may be a little less evident in this version, but I still think it's the same artwork reused, although maybe slightly modified. But this does appear to be the new version of Constance, minus the hatchet, where she's no longer a woman with agency of her own, but merely a victim of whatever is killing off all of her husband's Hatbox Ghost. Who knows? But still, a very nice looking pin. It was probably, of these pins, the least of the ones I would have picked if I could only have bought 3. This probably would have been the one I would have skipped. But it does thematically kind of fit in with the other ones, although they are a little different style. They're not, I mean, they're all the same style of pin. They have that same kind of non-enamel, I can't speak today. The non-enamel gloss layer on the outside of them. They all have that kind of roughness to them. They're all double pin backed. They all have, well, actually no, this doesn't have the Haunted Mansion logo on it, does it? So they don't have that. But they do have a similar art style to them, and they all came out together, so they kind of form a set. But yeah, I think ultimately from the website, this would have, if I was going to only get 3 of them, this would be the one that I would have skipped, because it isn't our hatchet wielding Hatchaway, and I do prefer. I mean, if we're not going to go back to the original Beating Heart Bride, if we want to be a victim, we had a Beating Heart Bride as a victim for decades before she became Constance, and was given agency of being the Black Widow bride, like we see her in the movie, the most recent movie, like we see her in Muppets, and now they've taken that agency away and again made her a victim of poor circumstance. But that said, if we're going to make her a victim again, they should put the I Do ghosts back in the attic, just to go back to mocking her for the happy married life she will never have. Not far from Constance, we do meet our next happy haunt. Although this one, maybe not, he's got a big grin on his face, but maybe not so happy, at least not if you take the movie as canon. It is the Hatbox Ghost. HM25 Ghost. He's not labeled Hatbox, he's just called Ghost. To set him apart, I suppose, from all the other characters who aren't ghosts. Again, $12.99, again, open edition, again, not available as of this recording on the website, but I'm sure it's available in the park, probably in large quantities. But here we have the Hatbox Ghost, who is flanked on all sides by something that looks very Nightmare Before Christmas, very Tim Burton-y. But again, I think this is a reused asset of what would be on the Magic Band. And again, it's a very good rendition of Hatbox. I liked it on the Magic Band. It's indeed, the main reason I wanted the Magic Band. And I like it here as well. This would, of course, be the pin that I would have bought first, being Hatbox Ghost. And yeah, it looks good. It's not got the glossy layer on the top. So it's got a bit of a roughness, a bit of texture to it, although maybe not so much as the others, but I think it's just because we have less dramatic shifts in tone. Again, double pin backed. Nice solid thing. And yeah, I think this one looks quite good. It looks a little dark on camera. I don't know how well it shows to you, which is weird because it's got a light literally like 4 inches from it in a way that finally doesn't glare off of it. Isn't that nice? Sorry my voice sounds off. Been going to the fair and time outside in the weird weather we've been having. I mean, blessedly less hot than last year, but kind of weird. I guess, is it bad that I now feel like days that are only in the 90s are weird? That's not good. All right. Anyways, that's why my voice sounds messed up, I think, largely from being outdoors at the fair and dust and smoke and whatever else out there. But yeah, Hatbox Ghost. Definitely, I mean, yeah, we haven't really looked at all 4 of them yet, but I feel like this, I feel safe in saying this is my favorite of the lot. And finally, at least in Disneyland, not the last ghosts you see. You do see one after them, but it is that tricky trio who just want a friend for all eternity. The Hitchhiking Ghosts. HM23 Hitchhike. OEPNCZ. And honestly, this one surprised me a little bit. It really shouldn't have. But on the website, the pictures online, to me made this look like it was going to be more of a pewter finish to it. Which, I love me some pewter looking pins, but this is in the same style as the other 3 pins we looked at this week. And there we go. Good enough. But it is, of course, Phineas, Ezra, and Gus, our favorite farewell phantoms from the mansion. I mean, Madame Leota, or rather Little Leota, you do see last in California, but, these are the ones that are last, like, kind of really importantly referenced. And it's not pewter, obviously. It's the same exact style as the other 3, but it's still nice. It's still again very nicely rendered. I wouldn't have minded them being on the Magic Band, but it would have, they would have had to go sideways, and that would have ruined the whole aspect of everybody else being kind of facing the same direction on the band as it came out. But I'm sure we will see this asset reused on other things as well, because it's again, a very nice drawing. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, because it's very, very small. But it looks like there's a lot of really good detail. This shrunk down really nicely to leave detail on their faces. Usually, when you get things this small, faces, eyes in particular, become problematic. But this looks really quite nice. I'm very pleased with it. It would probably, so I'm going to rank these. Well, let's go back to a bigger view before I rank them. But another double pin back. This is the only one that is not in portrait mode, though. It is in landscape mode. So keep that in mind. I guess you can put this like towards the bottom of your lanyard where the 2 sides meet. So you have a little extra width down there. Stick that guy on down there to hold your the sides of your lanyard together better. It's very nice. This is probably, honestly, one of the best Hitchhiking Ghost pins in my collection. I mean, I haven't gone through and looked through them all, but I just feel like I think this is the first time I've really been impressed with the detail to the enough that I feel like I comment on it. So I think this may be one of the nicest, if not fanciest, if not most exclusive, if not most expensive, but one of the most detailed pins featuring the Hitchhiking Ghosts in the collection. So these are our 4 pins for this edition of the Happy Haunt Hunt. If I were to put them in order of best to least, none of them are bad, so worst is not good. But best to least, I'm probably going to go this route. Number 1 being Hatbox Ghost. I know it's hard for you to have guessed that from me. 2 being the Hitchhiking Ghosts, classics. 3 being Madame Leota. It's got just a very nice kind of sign look to it, which is lovely. And it's an interesting rendition of her face. Good use of shadow, maybe a little angular, but great use of shadow on it. And then finally, Constance Hatchaway, who is actually the only one that says Haunted Mansion on it. Interesting. So I was going to say they all say Haunted Mansion, but actually only Constance actually says Haunted Mansion on the front of her. And she's just, I haven't seen it in ride. I've only seen it on video, but I'm not a huge fan of the new bride. I feel like I liked hatchet-wielding Black Widow Constance. I liked that they gave the character some agency, some control over her own life, because she spent so many years being nameless and husbandless and just kind of a victim of whatever. You finally made her not a good person, but you made her a character with agency, and now I feel like we've taken that agency away and reduced her back to being a victim, although now not one that has never gotten married, but one who has been married many times and had them all mysteriously lose their heads. But hey, everybody's a lot of opinions on that. If you like the new animated Gift Bride, more power to you. It looks nice. It just looks bored. Anyways, though, that's my ranking of these pins. That's another edition of the Happy Haunt Hunt in the Ghost Trap. What do you think of these pins? Let me know in the comments. How would you rank them? Again, best to least. None of them are bad. They all look really nice. They're all quality. I have no regrets on getting any of them. I do wish this had actually been a pewter finish like it looked online to me. I think it's just the way they took the picture, or maybe partially wishful thinking on my part, that it did seem weird that you would have one pin be pewter when all the others were a different style. But the only real complaint I have about this one is I wish that it had been the pewter finish, just because you don't get enough pewter finish anything nowadays. But what do you think? How would you rank them? Are there any here that you just absolutely would not buy? Let me know in the comments below. But I thank you for watching. I hope you found it at all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.